Googled it. Yeah, not you. Sorry.
Guys?
I'm Derek with the Intelligence.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah.
We're coming you guys out. Yeah.
Yeah, just right after this. Yeah.
Well, welcome.
I should have dressed up.
Yeah. Oh, it's you're gonna sit.
Wow, I'll tell you what a day already. It's a great day.
Sure.
Can we take this out? Here it is. It's good. Great. Hey, guys. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here today with you. And I couldn't have picked, and you couldn't have picked a better day for us to come. Hang on one second. We're just trying to move this around. So it's wonderful to be back here in the Northern Panhandle and to be here in Wheeling and to have such an idyllic scenery. This is, I couldn't imagine being at a better place right now. There's so much good going on here in the Northern Panhandle, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you so that the Northern Panhandle and every part of West Virginia truly reaches her potential. I'm very fortunate to be joined here today by a number of people. I don't want to miss anyone, but I'll just mention a couple folks' names. I think we've got a terrific DP secretary, Harold Ward. Where's Harold? Harold's doing a great job. I appreciate it. We kept just a couple people from the prior administration. He was a high priority because he's doing good work, and he helped shepherd this bill through we're talking about today, along with the wonderful delegates and senators who are here. So I'm just glad that he's doing some terrific things. We have Delegate Mark Satezalo, who's been a longtime friend, doing some pretty wonderful work, including this bill. Delegate Charles Sheedy, good to see you. We have, I know Delegate Jimmy Willis is supposed to be here. There he is, hiding in the back area. We got Senator Laura Chapman. Thank you, Senator, for being here. I'm looking at Ryan Weld. Does Ryan come? There he is. What are you hiding back there for, bud? He's hiding back there. We got Senator Chris Rose. Let me tell you, first-term senator doing a great job. So thank you, Chris, for coming. And Senator Charles Clement. Okay. And let me tell you, he is active, really always zealously representing his constituents. I had a chance to spend a little time with them recently, and I know we'll probably talk about that. We're going to talk a bit about the bill today and some of the things that are going on, and then we're going to do the bill signing, and then I'm going to take questions for folks from the media and try to make sure that we address everything that's on your mind. A couple weeks ago, it seems like it was a long time ago, we were up here talking about our first 100 days. Many of you might have been here. And we talked about a lot of the major things we were trying to get done. We talked about what's going ahead, the challenges that West Virginia faces, but also the incredible opportunities. Today, we're here to talk about something very important, and it builds on the theme of what we've been trying to do with our new administration. And let me give you an example. We're here at this amazing place. And I think all of us can say we deeply care about the environment. We want to make sure we have clean air, we have clean water, and we appreciate the gifts that God has bestowed to us. But the importance of protecting West Virginia's natural resources and beautiful environment, I think that's something that all of us can agree on, right? And in West Virginia, we're truly blessed to have some of the most picturesque scenery. We have the most amazing rivers. We have this wonderful topography, the hills and the hollers. West Virginia, when I talk about the backyard brawl, I frequently talk about defeating all the states that we touch economically. In a couple areas, boy, we're way ahead. We're way ahead in terms of state parks. We're way ahead in terms of raw beauty. And I think that's critically important. Charlie Bird, nice to see you, sir. All right. So we know that a lot of people come to our state because they want to see the beauty that we have. It's still an undiscovered secret for so many across the country. But as we have people explore our wonderful home, we want to make sure that we're protecting the gifts that have been bestowed to us so they can be enjoyed for many, many generations to come. Right behind me, we have a mighty river. I want everyone to know that it's on West Virginia soil. And we own every piece of that river despite its name from the other state. In fact, I think people could joke about the Ohio River and say that it might be renamed. We'll get to that later. But I will say one thing we have talked about a lot is how to protect this river and all the other waterways in our state, right? That's critical. And you may recall, those who are here, that there was an orphan well nearby, approximately a couple hundred feet from the river. It was discovered when pressure built up inside the well and led to an uncontrolled release of gas. The release posed a threat to public health and safety and actually caused the Warwood Marina to halt operations and close a section of their parking lot until the West Virginia DEP could take action and come in, shut the well, stop the release. As the people of Wheeling and the surrounding areas know very well, abandoned and orphan wells can pose a significant threat and safety risk and can potentially impact surface and groundwater, drinking water sources, land, and air quality. So plugging these wells safely and effectively is critical to protecting these resources. West Virginia right now has approximately 21,000 documented abandoned and orphan wells. And while state and federal funds to plug these wells have grown over the years, when I started out, we started looking for additional ways that we could do more with less, ways to make the plugging process faster, safer, more cost-effective, allowing us to plug more wells with this money. That's why we're here today. So previously, state code in West Virginia required operators to remove most of a well's infrastructure before plugging it with cement and other materials, even when the casing was damaged or it would be more difficult to the environment to remove. Quite frankly, this one-size-fits-all approach, that could be costly and very time-consuming in achieving our goal, and it's often not feasible with some of the older, more deteriorated wells. So today, I am ceremonially signing House Bill 3336, which updates West Virginia's oil and gas laws to allow for a practical and field-proven method for plugging abandoned and orphan wells. This will provide operators with greater flexibility, especially when dealing with older wells in poor structural condition. This new method, where operators pierce the casing and fill the well with cement without having to remove the central casing, has been successfully tested in the field and meets all environmental and safety standards. It's going to allow all of us to safely and efficiently cap more wells than ever before and help us be more aggressive in protecting the environment and these abandoned wells. It's a great thing. Here today, we could say we're cutting red tape and we're moving the state forward. That was one of my promises to West Virginia when I ran. And today, I can say we're following through. We have more well plugging going on, a safer process, it's less expensive, and less red tape. That's a pretty darn good combination, right? That's what we need to do in West Virginia in every aspect of our state. I've talked about this backyard brawl for a long time. Well, when we see what some other states are doing, I want to make sure West Virginia not only meets that standard, it gets out ahead. That's what we're doing here. We're very excited about it. And I offer up to the public and to everyone, any idea like this, do more for less while keeping people safer and keeping the environment pristine. That's a wonderful combination. And that's why I was excited to come up here today to talk a bit about this bill. So pleased to be here today. I think when we come together as Team West Virginia, we can do great things for our environment and for our state. So with that, I'd like to bring a few people up. And I also want to thank Diversified Energy. I don't know if there's some of the representatives here. Very grateful for what you guys have done. You guys had a lot of really good ideas. Thank you for that. They're great partnerships when we all work together. So thank you. Now I'd love a couple of our guests to come and speak, including Harold Ward and Delegate Mark Zeteslo. Would you guys come up? Once you start, go ahead, and then Delegate will follow.
First of all, thank everyone for the opportunity to be here today. It's a great day, great town. Better? Everybody hear me okay? We've been quite engaged with this area well over the last couple of years. A lot of great things are happening here. And just want to speak to the city council and managers. We are so thankful for the opportunity to work collaboratively for the betterment of the area up here. It's been a great thing. Related to House Bill 3336, first of all, Governor, thank you for supporting us and supporting the state. This is a real project that will have great benefits to everything. Delegate, thank you, sir, for your sponsorship, and to all members of the legislature, thank you very much for pushing this forward and forging through the process. It really is not, it's simply not a controversial process. This is the right thing to do and the right way to do it. Historically, as a governor, we do have 21,000 abandoned wells. Historically, West Virginia has only been able to plug 1 to 2 wells a year because of lack of funding. With the strong support of the legislature, the funding sources coming, the influx of federal money, and then that approach. So since 2022, DEP has been able to orchestrate the abandonment of 275 wells in the last 3 years. So that is marked improvement, and those numbers are significant. However, it tells us a story with 21,000 out there. We still have a lot of work to get done. The cost, it is a process, but the cost of plugging these wells range for anywhere typically between $60,000 to $120,000 per well. We have had exceptions to that for more complex jobs. Some of them see $200,000. The well near the marina that the governor spoke of, we spent $185,000 on that well. And it took months of collaborative work and very technical work because the well was in such a deteriorated condition. A year later, in Tyler County, we spent more than $195,000 on 2 wells there. And the pressure it went with, it lifted a 300-pound boulder, the one near the marina, and plate steel and launched it more than 75 feet. So those are the pressures that can be dealt with when things start going down. You have a deteriorated well out there. We were able to get those done, but that's $400,000 for just 3 wellheads. So that lets you know the cost of what we're dealing with here. What House Bill 3336 does for us, it allows us to improve technologies that exist now with downhole observation, to actually go down and perforate the existing casing without pulling it, leaving it in the ground intact, cement off the zones of influence because you don't want gas migrating out, you don't want water or migrating in or out either way. By perforating these zones of influence from the surface, it's much safer for the workers, much more economical, and allows us to complete the project in a much shorter period of time. So that being said, for us at DEP, we don't look at well plugging as a regulatory responsibility. We look at it as a mission for public safety. And our mission at DEP is to promote a healthy environment. Every well we close out helps us fulfill our mission. And that's very important to us. And to be able to do it more economically in a safer way for the environment and for the workers is something we're just proud to be a part of. And we look so forward to implementing this new tool that we have. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Well, Governor, I have to thank you for several things here. First, thank you for coming up to the heart of the Shale Crescent to make this announcement. I think it's appropriate, and it is a real honor for me to have sponsored this bill. Many of you probably don't know this, but in my previous life, I was what is known as a hydrogeologist. That's somebody who studies groundwater. And Bill Anderson, the chairman of Energy, came to me and said, you should look at this bill and see if you want to sponsor it. And I looked at it and I said, well, this makes perfect sense to me. It actually One thing I want to say is even for new wells, one thing that we should do in this state is protect fresh water. One thing I can tell you as a hydrogeologist, if you go 200 feet below this river and drill down to that level, you will be in salt water. And that salt water will continue another 5,800 feet until you hit the Marcellus Shale. You have to protect what's above that, the fresh water. And the new wells, that's one of the things that we talked about in this bill, is modern wells gives accounting for the casings that are put in, the double casings that are put in through fresh water. And it allows that to remain there. And that really caught my eye, because going forward in the future, that's going to become important when we start to eliminate some wells that are out of production. So all I can tell you is it was very heartening for me to see industry and the DEP, who I have a great deal of respect for, come together and come up with a method that actually is more efficient and actually protects groundwater. And I think that's what we want in this state. I think it is a product of rational thought and moving the state forward. So thank you very much, Governor, for the opportunity to speak, and I look forward to good things in the future. Thank you.
So now we're going to move to the ceremonial signing ceremony. If anyone wants to come up and be behind me, you're welcome to do so. What a beautiful day, huh? So what do we think about the name of the river behind us? Anyone? 100% owned by Westmark. Yeah, I'm just saying. All right. This really is my pleasure to sign this today. We've had a great partnership, and we've been able to work closely, protecting the environment, saving precious taxpayer dollars, not compromising the safety of the people that are doing this work. This is how we win in West Virginia. So thanks so much. This is really a terrific day. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Really special thanks to all the legislators. You know, you guys don't get enough credit when you're doing good things like this. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. There you go. Yes. Thank you.